Mga ambasador ng China huling-huli ang kasinungalingan. Supalpal ang inabot ng China sa Senado matapos maipakita ng ilang senador ang kawalang hiyaan at kabastusan na ginawa ng mga Chinese vessel sa mga Pilipinong nangingisda sa West Philippine Sea na patuloy pa din na inaangkin ng mga Chinese. Halos mapasigaw na lang sa galit ang mga senador dahil sa paulit-ulit na pangbabastos at pagmamaliit ng mga ito sa Pilipinas na kahit anong batas ay hindi pa din sila mapigilan. Kaya naman sa naging pagpupulong sa Senado ay sinupalpal ng mga Senado ang mga ambasador ng China dahil sa ginawa nilang ito.
Kung nakikinig kayo ngayon, mga Chinese, galit na kami. To tell you frankly, we are mad.
Para matauhan sila kasi kung hindi, talagang mawawala na pati Palawan, baka kuha na nila.
I want them to hear it. That's
But
why
Mr.
I am making my voice
President-
loud and clear.
Mr. President,
I'm not saying it was a bully. Bawal ang bully. Kung sino ang matamaan, silang masaktan.
Mr. President, yung nakita ho nating video, kung hindi magngangalit ang mga Pilipino dun sa video na yon, baka hindi na tayo Pilipino.
Para sa isang bully, we should speak the language that they can understand.
Hindi dapat tayo pumayag. Taas noo at buong puso tayong maninindigan. Atin ang Pilipinas. Dapat nating ipaglaban ito.
Nakikita po natin, Mr. President, hila po ng hila po sa likod yung debris.
How? What are you doing? I asked for not earlier. You didn't give the not.
So this is an actual footage, Mr. President, of that incident last month, Mr. President. The China boat, as I've said, came within 20 to 30 yards of the Philippine rubber boat and forcibly cut the tubing line of the space debris.
Nila yung tali.
See how dangerous
Pinawi nila
the
ulit.
incident was, Mr. President. Baka rubber boat lang po tayo. Ang lalaki ng kanilang mga
Kawawa yung mga tao natin.
Mr. President, Chinese diplomats denied that the incident occurred. They denied that the incident occurred, claiming that a friendly consultation took place. But the footage and reports clearly show that CCG assertively took the debris in the area well within the Philippine territory. The Department of Foreign Affairs, again, some officials are here, issued a note verbal to China to clarify the matter as the incident was highly provocative. These actions, along with the other gray zone activities, are slowly but surely eroding Philippine sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea and harming the country's strategic position. Mr. President, yan po ay isang larawan ng space debris. Mr. President, my colleagues, this is not the first time that Chinese rocket debris has fallen within Philippine territory or territorial waters. On October 6 and November 7 this year, similar rocket debris were recovered in Calintaan, Occidental Mindoro, and Busuanga, Palawan. Even earlier, Mr. President, in July 2022, Chinese rocket debris was also recovered off Occidental Mindoro. This debris, as shown in the picture, fell in Philippine archipelagic waters of Palawan and Mindoro Occidental and within the Pagasa Islands territorial sea, where Clay 1 is located. Significantly, the Chinese Coast Guard retrieval of the debris of Clay 1 is a gross violation of Philippine sovereignty, as Beijing has no jurisdiction over Philippine territorial sea. Further, CCG's interference in the retrieval also violated the right of innocent passage under the 1982 UNCLOS, yet another incident in a long and sustained record of repeated violations of international law. Lastly, China's actions demonstrate that Beijing does not recognize the 2016 arbitral award, which establishes a 12 nautical mile territorial sea in the Pagasa Islands. The rocket debris retrieved bear the markings of China's Long March 5B rocket. I'm showing the picture right now. incontrovertible proof of the provenance of the remains recovered in Occidental Mindoro, Palawan, and in the Pagasa Islands. China acceded to the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, and Beijing must request the return of space debris which fall in the territory of other states, like the Philippines, like Pagasa Islands in the Philippine case, rather than merely seizing the same. These repeated violations, Mr. Senate President, my dear colleagues, is a breach of Philippine territorial integrity, and the irresponsible rocket launches are scattering debris that can threaten Filipinos who are plying the West Philippine Sea and our archipelagic waters. These incidents cannot be allowed to continue, as they not only can potentially harm Filipino fishermen, but the Chinese Coast Guard actions also violate Philippine maritime rights, as enshrined in the UNCLOS and the arbitral ruling award, Mr. President. In this, Mr. Senate President, my dear colleagues, we are on the right side of international law. And gross violations like this cannot be allowed and should not be allowed to continue. Before I end this speech, Mr. President, let me stress that it is high time that the government prioritizes South China Sea, West Philippine Sea, as the Philippines has become the laggard among the claimants. A status that threatens not only the country's sovereignty, but also the livelihoods of thousands of Filipino fishermen and the nation's energy and food security.
I would like to suggest that if we are going to make our sense of the Senate expressing our disgust over this incident, can we make it diplomatic at the same time forceful?
Yes.
Para naman kung nakikinig yung mga Chinese ngayon, we
We're disgusted.
we are disgusted and we are offended by what you are doing to our troops in the West Philippine Sea. We should express that to them. Mr. President, palagay natin, hindi tayo pakinggan. Who are we? Pakinggan ba tayo ng China na napakalakas nila? But sana as a body, itong Senado ay magpalabas tayo ng sense of the Senate para malaman natin mga kababayan na ang Senado natin ay galit na sa ginagawa na pambubuli nitong mga tao na ito sa ating mga kababayan. Hindi na po, sige lang tayo nagtitimpi porque maliit tayo. We don't want war to happen. Ayaw natin maging war freak tayo, pero gusto lang natin talaga ipakita sa kanila, iparamdam sa ating mga kababayan na tayo punong-puno na sa pambubuli na ginagawa nitong mga Chinese na ito. So, kung nakikinig kayo ngayon, mga Chinese, galit na kami. To tell you frankly, we are mad with what you are doing to our troops. The simple bullying, I tell you, the simple bullying, and we cannot tolerate that act to happen again. I hope you're listening. Yeah, I know you're listening right now. Listen to me. Listen to me. We are mad at you with what you're doing. We want to make it more diplomatic, at the same time, forceful, para pakinggan ninyo kami.
Yes.
Respetuhan tayo dito. In fact, Mr. President, nabanggit naman ni Senator Tolentino yung our initial talks with the Vietnam National Assembly. The President of National Assembly of Vietnam, when we talk about the bullying in the West Philippine Sea, which they also are experiencing. And they told us that they want to join forces with us to show to the world that we don't deserve all this bullying that is happening in the West Philippine Sea. Yun ang pag-usapan namin initially, Mr. President. So
Yes.
sabi ko, yeah, we have to cooperate. Tayo maliliit. We have to cooperate so that the whole world will listen to us. That enough is enough with this bullying incidents. That's it, Mr. President.
I salute you, Senator Bato de la Rosa, and it will, so as it's been said, so it shall be done. We
Thank
will
you,
make
Mr.
a
President.
resolution, a numbered resolution, that will express the sense of the Senate on our disgust in what we have seen today in what had transpired most recently in the West Philippine Sea. Tama yun. Puno-puno na po tayo. I think time for diplomacy sometimes should be put aside, and we should show our sincere anger and disgust on particularly this incident para matauhan sila. Kasi kung hindi, talagang mawawala na pati Palawan. Baka kuha na nila. Baka kunin na nila yung Palawan.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Palapit sila ng palapit sa atin.
Isipin mo lang yung hinihila na sa teritoryo natin, hinihila na ng trupa natin yung na-recover nila na bagay na yon. Regardless kung ang may-ari noon Chinese, but it is within our territory, dapat nirespeto nila tayo. Parang ganun na lang ba tayo na ikakat yung ruta ng ating trupa doon porque maliit lang yung ating rubber boat, tapos putulin lang yung at agawin. That's para sa akin, para akong sinampal kaliwa kanan doon sa
Yung masama
ginawa ng
pa
mga inchik na yun.
Yung masama pa niyan, Your Honors, ay sinabi pa ng Chinese Embassy, and I've been there, done that, sinabi ng Chinese Embassy, hindi po nangyari yun.
Oh, Mr. President.
Katulad ng nangyari sa akin, na nangyari naman. I was not dreaming when it happened. And so now, that it was forcibly taken away from us. This debris that fell into Philippine waters.
Bago magka-high blood tayo lahat dito, Mr. President, tama na. Maraming salamat.
Christmas na.
High blood
Mr.
ako.
President,
What is it yet, Mr. President, can we do to help our country to assert our sovereignty and our ownership of the territory that these neighbors in Asia are violating repeatedly? And how else can we help fisher folks, families and communities who live in coastal areas? And the video that was shown by the good gentleman from Cavite has clearly shown how inferior we are in terms of equipment, a rubber boat, as compared to the boats that were featured in that video. May this representation, Mr. President, know from the good senator from Cavite, as a national security administrator myself, how else can we help the Philippine Navy, the fisher folks, not just in Palawan, in all coastal areas, and every Filipino living today and in the future, because, as you yourself has said, the effective implementation of the Hague ruling is our duty. And it is the least we could do for the next generation of Filipinos. Back to my question, Mr. President, may I know, as an Air Force officer and someone who loves our country deeply, may I know how else can we help the Navy? How else can we help our country? Aside from the note verbal, aside from privileged speeches, ano pa po ang kailangan natin gawin para tigilan ng ating kaibigan na malaking bansa sa Asia ang kanilang pang-aabuso at hindi pagsunod sa isang maliwanag na ruling na dapat nilang respetuhin. Bawal ang bully sa mundo. Mr. President.
President, I'm aware that the other side is listening, but
I want them to hear it. That's
But
why
Mr.
I am making
Mr.
my voice
President-
loud and clear.
Mr. President,
I'm not saying it was a bully. Bawal ang bully. Kung sino ang matamaan, silang masaktan.
Mr. President, I recall that a month ago, we had visitors from Vietnam. We were there. We welcomed them. I think, Mr. President, part of my speech is to solidify and strengthen our strategic alliances.
Mr. President, being an honorable member of the international community, we honor our obligations and agreements. We followed the terms of the UNCLOS, believing in its terms and in the protection that it would be provided. But the actions of these nationals have shown disrespect of the terms of the UNCLOS and the arbitral award. taking a stand for our waters is crucial because if we let go of these brazen acts in the West Philippine Sea, we open all our waters to breach because we show that we allow it. What will stop this nation or other nations from disrespecting our rights under international law on all our waters from the north, east, or south? Manindigan na po dapat tayo. Ang ating katubigan ay buhay at kabuhayan para sa ating mga kababayan. Ito ay pinagkukunan natin ng likas na yaman. Let us explore, utilize, and maximize our water resources, and we can use these funds to provide protection for our waters. Para sa akin po, para sa isang bully, we should speak the language that they can understand. And that language that is, we have to stand up. And how we're going to do that, we have to modernize our military. It's about time, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po.
I'd like to put on record what the dictionary is saying about bullying. Bully is a noun, a blustering, mean, or predatory person who, from a perceived position of relative power, intimidates, abuses, harasses, or coerces people, especially those considered unlikely to defend themselves. Mr. President, yung nakita ho nating video, kung hindi magngangalit ang mga Pilipino dun sa video na yon, baka hindi na tayo Pilipino, Mr. President. I would just like to put on record, Mr. President, kahit saang lupalop ng daigdig ka magpunta, bullying po yun. Nakakasama po ng loob na i-deny pa po ng embahada ng China na ito ay hindi nangyari.
Mr. President, our sovereignty or territorial integrity, this is priceless. We have to fight for it. And this is even our sworn duty as public officials to fight for our territorial integrity and protect our sovereignty at all costs. Tama po kayo, Mr. President, baka magising tayo isang araw, yung Palawan, katabi na ng mga islang kanila pong itinatayo. So, Mr. President, pinigilan na ako ni Senator Alan noon kasi we have to keep our menu of the Horizon 2 and Horizon 3 of the AFP and DND, yung po mga nais natin bilhin. Pero ako, ito lang yung wish list ko para malaman nila, hindi tayo pwedeng ibuli. We will have anti-aircraft missiles put at around surface-to-surface missiles, surface-to-air, para hindi nila basta-basta tayo papasukin ng kailang aircraft intrusions by air. Dapat malaman nila magkaroon tayo nito, hindi sila makakapasok. Magdadalawang isip sila. I will order also, kung ako lang ito, F-16s, F-35 to serve as a deterrent. And I would like to thank our Senate President. If you remember, for the information of our colleagues, during our parliamentary visit to France, before the official visit, we went to Normandy, which was 4 hours away, and then went to the naval group to look at where the submarines are being manufactured. We went to the nuclear power plants. Kami dalawa ni Senate President, we left at 8 a.m. in the morning and went back at 2 a.m. So I'm proud to have a Senate President and a Senate that is standing to protect our sovereignty and territorial integrity. Ganun po, para malaman ng honored men in uniform. Si Senate President mismo, actual, pumunta doon mismo sa naval group. Alas 8 na umaga, bumalik kami. Alas 2 ng umaga. We are there. Really, ang concern natin is to how to protect our territories. Kaya, Mr. President, I'm hoping that, again, we need to beef up already. And I'm quite proud that in the Senate, we tried to restore the budget that was cut in the HGAB on the AFP modernization. Because this is already a clear and present danger. Hindi na ito pwedeng baliwalain. If you saw the new pictures, the most recent pictures of the disputed islands, a full-blown military bases na, ang dami na, it's like a city already. Baka magising tayo pag pinabayaan pa natin to. If we continue to become a laggard, baka mamaya po yung Palawan nga ma-annex na nila. So again, I'm quite proud that we have a Senate that is really fighting for our sovereignty. So again, next year, maging makulit man tayo, ulit-ulitin ko, dadagdagan natin ang modernization so that we will have the minimum defense posture that China will respect. Papaalam ko sa kanila, magkakaroon tayong magagandang, maliliit man, pero hindi na makikita, matatakot sila na pumasok dito.
Senator Bong Revilla is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to associate myself with a gentleman from Cavite's pronouncement, Senator Tolentino, at narinig ko rin ang tinig ng ating mga kasamang senador na talaga naman nakakapanginig ng laman, Ginoong Pangulo. Sa panahong ito na mas higit at mas masidhi nating dinadama at binibigkas ang lupang hinirang. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil. Our country is so beautiful and rich in natural resources. Utang natin sa inang bayan ang mga tinatamasa natin ngayon. Kaya naman nararapat lamang na ipagtanggol at proteksyonan natin ang bawat sulok ng ating bansa, Ginoong Pangulo. Tayo'y mga Pilipino, kilalang matatapang. Hindi tayo titiklop, lalo na sa mga panahong ito na sarili nating mga kababayan ang ginigipit, inaalipusta sa sarili nating bansa.
Kabitan yan.
Mga kababayan,
Kabitan yan.
hindi tayo papayag. Hindi dapat tayo pumayag. Taas noo at buong puso tayong maninindigan. Atin ang Pilipinas. Dapat nating ipaglaban ito.